Omanoba Nedo, he cannot be like what type of Oba was he? Because it's like asking any human being what type of person was your dad, because he was the Oba, and any Oba is the father of his people. Oba Erediauwa, for those who were lucky to have seen him before he joined his ancestors, he was somebody who personified that role. But beyond that, as it is in the Benin cultural milieu, was somebody who lived the culture, and anybody who had the privilege of seeing him, getting to see him interact with people, getting to see him father his people, he was somebody who played his role to an exalted extent. I personally will not forget the fact that growing up, he was the Oba. I got to know very well, in the sense that he was in preparation to become our Oba, our father, and he was somebody we realized took being an Edo as seriously as possible, and made the average Edo man realize how great it was to be Edo. And in addition to that, he was an Oba who was a nationalist, who had the opportunity, which he really made exemplary to all Nigerians, not just Edo people, what it meant to render service to the nation. Somebody who, firstly in his public service duties, worked not just in the old Western region, but as a federal officer, he was actually an officer in eastern Nigeria. And by the time he came to the seat of the federal government in Lagos, he rose to become a permanent secretary of a federal ministry. the role he played in trying to avert the Civil War is historical, and the records speak for themselves. For us here in the United Kingdom, at the time we met and decided we wanted a local leadership recognized by the Omonoba and the Edo people on the request of Philip Idahosa. And after we had decided whom we thought fitted to be our leader, the Odionwere, it was Philip Idahosa who said we needed an Odionwere in the United Kingdom and Ireland. We sent a letter to the Omonoba Nedu Ukwapolopolo that we wished to be organized under the leadership of an Odionwere. He was pleased and wrote back to us that his requests were basic, and if we met the requirement, we should return back to him for a decision. And the two basic requirements were told were, firstly, he had to be the oldest man in the United Kingdom and Ireland. Two, he had to be somebody who were convinced had the character and wholesomeness to render that service to the community of Edo people in the UK and Ireland. And when we went back to say yes, we had one, Engineer Bernard Warrior. He gave approval. That is how the Odionwere was appointed here in the United Kingdom and Ireland. Well, the Omonoba joined his ancestors a little while ago now, maybe I think in the year 2016, and we pray that our good Lord would have received him in his bosom, and we wish that having joined who we refer to in Benin as a Nikao, that they will continue to guide and guard our aspirations and that forevermore his wishes and his direction for the Edo community will continue. Omonobane do Hatokbe is
it's a long time ago. My father was the first Nigerian miner, tin miner in Nigeria, in Jos. Your dad was the prince that time, used to go to my father in Jos and was in the university in Cambridge. From there, that is how he knew me and then knew my family, where the Obaze. And then he picked on me, very luckily to me, that we got the connection. He knows my connection here. I was also, before I become the councillor, the first Benin councillor in Britain. He was very, very proud of me. He introduced me to your sister, not your sister really, yes, to your sister Teresa. The quality of trust he had for me was his instruction to his daughter, his first daughter, Princess Teresa. He asked Teresa, anytime, talk to Councillor Obaze. Anything you think, also if you have any difficulties. And that trust to me, and the daughter even asked me, Uncle, my father asked me to talk to you also. He trusted you. I said, well, he was a great man. I'm lucky. What a great man he was. The daughter will say, yes, very proud of the father. So that we were very good friends. So when he connected me, introduced him to Princess Teresa, his daughter, senior daughter. And then he trusted me, which I'm very, very lucky, very, very happy. He asked me many things and then also assigned a lot of functions or duties to me in London here. He was also a member of Edo Union, which he knew for a long time ago when he was a student.
That's the Benin Union. Benin Union or Edo Union?
Benin Union, okay. Yeah, Benin Union. Well, he was a undergraduate even in Cambridge that time, and then in London. So I was still very young that time also. But from there, he always asked me about the activities, the welfare, the well-being of the Beninese. He loved the Beninese, or in diaspora, especially in London here or in Britain. He was so concerned, asking every time how the Beninese, how are they managing, how are the welfare, which I always tell him, well, you know how it's been. Anyway, he gave me an instructions. If I can gather the Beninese together and have great union, great movement of, we call it Benin Odionwere group. I asked him each time I phone him or he phones me, luckily, I gather the Beninese to talk so he can hear, they can hear him expressing his wishes, his love for them. So from there, we formed this group, which we call Odionwere Union. From there, we have regular meetings, monthly, every time. And we used to talk to him, to the Oba
Sorry,
Erediauwa.
wait.
There was an incident that his brother had in Lagos. I think armed robbers or so. And anyway, he had a gunshot. Although this is something that many people don't know, but he told me to arrange with a doctor in London to treat his brother, his beloved brother, who was next to him. So I did. Went to Harley Street, private hospital or private clinic, talked to the doctors there, and that I had somebody who would like to get treatment. And they asked me how I'll be paying the charges for that fee for treatment. I said the Oba of Benin, Nigeria, will be paid. Well, they were very, very skeptical about the payment. I said, well, they should trust me because I trusted my Oba so much. The Oba trusted me to make this arrangement. Anyway, they agreed to the contract, gave me the date they will admit the prince, that is the Oba Erediauwa's brother. So he arrived to London after my information to him that the clinic is ready to admit him. When he got to the airport, he phoned me that he has arrived, coming to London. So he got his hotel, phoned me. The next day, I introduced him to the surgery in Harley Street. He met with him, and after treatment, the brother was so impressed with the treatment, and the surgery was so very impressed with Omonoba, our king, how he talked to them, how he financed the whole process. I was so proud. It's the moment I'll be very proud with my king, with my country, Nigeria, and with the Benin. How he handled the whole process. The brother was happy with his treatment he got from the doctor, from the surgery. And when he was going to Nigeria, had a very good commendation to the clinic. And I was so proud. He left. That is how he got his treatment in Britain. And the Oba finished, when the brother arrived to Nigeria, the Omonoba phoned me. Councillor Obaze, thank you very much. I said, what? Thank you very much. I'm so happy to doing it. You're a great man with your brother. We were all very happy with that. And that is what the legacy the Omonoba left with me. He left a legacy for us here to love yourselves, help yourselves for your progress, for the unity of the country, for the unity of Benin people. Iviedo, he used to let me have Iviedo I used to say, yes, sir. Although I grew up in the north, I still, well, I can't speak Benin like he does. He was a great man. When we go, each time I go to Nigeria, I go to the palace. And he made every speech to the palace in Benin, in complete Benin language. Every other chief may mix their languages. Somebody even accused me, hey, speak Benin purely Benin. I said, well, I can't speak Benin completely. Then the Oba would say, leave him alone. Let him speak what he can speak. What a great man he was. For that, for defending me, for telling people like that. But he will express in Benin language everything. Everything he wants to say, he said it in Benin. I was so happy. And he introduced me to his brothers, his families, his children. That was a great moment for me. My wife met with him, my family actually. He knows the Obaze, my grandfather. He knows my grandfather, he knows my father. But he really communicates with me. He's very trusted somebody. I was so happy, very, very happy. I'm so proud with that. He introduced me to his brother who had an accident also. Unfortunately, his brother passed away. That is his junior brother, after coming to this country for treatment. My relation with the Oba Erediauwa was very, very great. Very, very. I appreciate so much.
Okay.
Uvi olu no egere ya yewena. Oba Erediauwa. Oba no nyedu. Oba no nyato ya sedu. Kedu ya se wibu. Oba ma. Ogi sege ana wene. Agunya doa rigi. Oba Jaime no si techni rigi. Ai mugine. Hunda Oba nyato ya se ini. Ya se wibu. Keini kagon. Kazen koso. Oba agoba moeme. Ege nana una do riyase. Muyase kumi. Ala tie nyoni. Uye egwima no. Oye kino ina nwa omaye sitini azedu. Agiwe na oma na muyase ne. Ona bibia do wa hela ho. Oba muyase ni. No ya tawe do zewi no ki natana gazi yuba. Obama de uno izena. Oba muyase kumi uwe. Kumi yuba ni. Mume oba muyase ni. Oba muyase no oba unu ahin. Ovin oba. Unu ahin. Lumina ina agbibona. Oisege. Otori. Odame. De do imaye ze ni agona. E Jaime ya no nata. No hedu. Ze no ke nya agbiseyo. Hunda emi ya no ma aya tigbi. Oba Erediauwa. Solomon Akinzua. Oba Eweka. Ovonra mi no gba isi. Onye ọba no so ọba. Ini ka hasin ivie do hia. Fe vini ma bunse ewu. Ovi ọba imaya. Ederi ona wagima ga amo dinwe ewu na wa ma wagima ga amo dinwe. Opa isu bo odukun na wi ho na zo dinwe. Wa zo dinwe na gbe. Onye ho na ze me no guana. Nda obi o khaime. Mi kiredu. Era me ọba medu. It was a street. Yawa ye kishibon funya egbe. Ndi ka hasin okhere. De inavita we okhere yo se muzi. Ige kan yo se muzi. Erediauwa obi ọba no. Ọba no rekitina. Oba Erediauwa no. Erediauwa orí ewo na wa orí ọba orí ọba edo ana tie ona do orí ọba oso egbe o ino so ma gbe a se gbe gele aye kan so na ga na me yo bo mu hen fe o ado ha ma ya ri do me orí o khaime ka si ni ra sin e hin edo du iwase ana ra mi era me agun ave ni ayin ya gbota ona hamotin pa na aimo won ọba soje na ga ana kana we ani gunu ọba gun ọba arekete wa se na ya inirun ne do ya fefe ya o dikan runyin ebo àwọn ní kú àwọn ní nínú fi ayé ẹ̀ ìpẹ́dìwé ní àyà dùgé ní ẹ̀mí ẹ̀ rún yẹn tókun ìwé dò tààrà àyà mi ọba mẹ́dò ọba dẹ̀rù ọba zọ ayé ìhà ẹ̀mí níṣu ní kéré wọ ó lé hà ògèlè ezọmọ ẹ̀rọ ìhà tamo ma wiyeke nuweye ohon odo ai muai odo abun egena na we ma ya se okay ni ma ya se ida se no ro ne isam atie era igbe oro no sam wa tie ni awe oro wa na tie owe mo me pàtàkì yin o ni eta mo wa obi ọba medu no ọba de aru yahin le na no banaro mi ka hasin ọba ya fefe ni ri ọba edu ni ka bo hin se wo su ni ewe me no guana era no iye no bira me obi ọba no sa ahine se princess ahine ọba nusa onye wa biri meko okoro ni gun wene do yi cha ya ma we okoro no igbo ya owo igbo nda oga ewo no ri se do ide do ma ewo ni ra mi ho ya we wa go igbo no igbo ọba zo aye ọba medo ọba de aru mo ya no won avedo no ma ọba medo ero no ma ọba zo aye ero ai pe bon iya tu Erediauwa onda la kete owe ọba medo we ariye aina mogun egenu na la kete do tu mata ya na po bo no ma na miena ge webo weye ma ha na miewe wa te eme edo mai awebo ni awe edo na agbe na yaku na ka wa ahi owo ni nda ibi edo ni bun oni na zedo Bogi Laboni, Utonari, Doban or any of Morame, no Bashi. My quiver, Okura home. And I will Wagamwe, Unica passing a hand. You got sunu, no market no sunu. I said, where? I will have a one kind. No, ma. Since Erediauwa, how your baby do a okay, now we are in. Oh, no, I tell me, Erediauwa do. Kiwibu. No, my Wagmama do with a wibu. I will give you, and I will your me. No one in here, and I can move you. And I don't know how now. How we may know. May be no guana. I know how we would not move you. No, ma. We will not say a change early. Another guy here. Modu in a rewibu. Kagani got it. O my quiver, Erediauwa Rioba. I know yet my newbo. Mugmos. Well, yeah, now what talk about now? Now, Russell. Hundalwe. Egina Munimania. Oh, do we? Oh, we do here. Nirewibu. Hunda. Again, man, I gear. I'm in my school. The school in Mayo. If you're Jaime, I boy schoolina. Government school. Benin. I say, can I not in May school? Yes, and I will be and I will over your bar meduating. No, don't okay, not in government school. You know, my girl. It have an eye away. You are out. Obey here, you. Meoronia. Me my women are yaring, do fear again. New way, and my getting more new in ended. And I quit you, quit it. And I was got have more about my do a rubu. And man, I give home. I used to rubu. Me not what talk way. Me not new boy. He away. Olapa, where ye now move erase no like it. You know, do me. Near child be near she, I mean, near she can't be. You can't walk on the do here and rewibu. Can you rewibu? Can you react? Can you do? Can you rewibu? Can you what? Where we no sick do? Can't walk on over here. Mamma do we? Oba Erediauwa. Now, him Oyoba Tara. You know, Ubiraka Ubi. Oba Norona. Ihenede. In Nira Mune. Orioba and another Odioba. Why?
The second.
Why Gidigan? Huh? Why? Oh, Giddy. Ogidi gan enoka water and no music. Are you giddy kaka? Ogidi gan. Why the second? I know do I mean why the second? When I mean a week the second, I can so my believe I can the second here. I know do I mean there when I do your back. You be a Kenzwa. There were a henede. We are Kenzwa. No. We are Weka will be. We are Kenzwa will be. I Kenzwa. Henede. We are Kenzwa will be. Oriobane. Obanusa. Ogidigan. Do here. Wanoka bohe do in Itana. Heavy do here no rewibu be head dunia. Nunda ama do. I say do. Menoguana here. Do here the metize trebusona. Ikun wahia. Wahia la hot ni ma kuboku go. Do. Nunda do rasogoma. Do no. Arasoge do. Do no. Jawana oba. Ubira ubiyi. Henede. Ewa Gidigan. Ubera ubi on alba. Doni. Odionwere. Oh, you do here and there will be. Oh, go out when I come over here. Why you we do tar? My about talk way. Say, why be to our boy? No, okay, now, my own now. Why be our
Dustin and Professor Walker were the ones who visited us here initially before the meeting in the High Commission and thereafter. Whenever I think of the contact we had with them, it invokes a lot of pride in one, that we had the opportunity at the time to sit to discuss with people who wanted to return some of the artifacts which were looted in Benin City in 1897. Professor Walker's grandfather, I think, had been one of the soldiers the British mobilized to attack Benin City in response to the so-called Benin massacre. But if one would think of it seriously and reasonably, maybe the massacre was later in the attack of the British on the Benin Empire. When here in London, we had the initial contact, we were all of the opinion that the return of the artifacts were essentially an activity that should have been carried out between governments here in Europe and Benin Kingdom, from where these artifacts were looted and from where they were essentially looted. We also had the additional opportunity to serve, because when we were told there was a diary actually kept by one of these soldiers, the grandfather of Professor Walker, on actual and regular daily activities by the soldiers, we were satisfied when the head of the Edo Centenary Committee, headed by Oba Erediauwa's junior brother, the Inogie of Igwabazuwa, who himself was a very protective and interactive with the Edo community in the United Kingdom. We very easily accepted the opinion expressed by that committee that they would also need a copy of the diary. Consequently, the Odionwere Council here in the United Kingdom decided we will procure that diary one for the committee and one to accompany the artifacts. Mr. Dunstan, I beg your pardon, Chief Dunstan and Professor Walker were taken to His Royal Majesty, the Oba Erediauwa. And when we were told they would rather return the artifact they had to Benin and not to the federal government in Abuja, we were excited and immediately went to work. We paid for the one book and I paid for the second copy, and these were then sent along with the artifacts which were being returned by the team I had mentioned earlier. One must say it gave the Edo community in the United Kingdom a lot of pride and happiness that we were able to carry out these very simple civic responsibilities. When needed. We also felt that Professor Walker and Chief Dunstan, as well as team, had done praiseworthy jobs by making others who had kept artifacts from Benin in their museums and in their homes, and they are giving them a reason to think that it was time to return these artifacts to Benin City. And when the collections in other countries, especially in Europe, are now being thought over as ready for return, to their homes, it is really because of the singular act of these gentlemen. And today we should show some gratitude and appreciation to them, because they may not have been informed about the activities of 1897, and yet they have grown up to realize that these artifacts do have a home. Many have spiritual curses for which they were initially commissioned, and therefore going back to their homes of abode was not only physically necessary, but of spiritual necessity. For that reason, every honest Edo man has a reason to express gratitude to these honorable men. Chief Dunstan has written a book on their trip to Benin City to see Oba Erediauwa in order to return a couple of the artifacts. The book, the one with the key, is being launched today, and I personally will ask everybody who can afford it to buy a copy. Intellectuals will gain from it. People who read for pleasure will enjoy it. And people who read to disseminate will succeed in teaching with it. For these reasons, I suggest and appeal to whoever wants a copy to procure one.
Okay.
Well, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I ask that you enjoy your day here, and I wish to thank you for your support and request that you do all you can to continue to celebrate Edo culture and Edo ways of thinking. You do the best you can to continue to make our culture as honorable and as pleasant as it has always been. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I hope that's it.
You